here at the airport ready to head to San Diego to go see 2 brand new world premiere musicals. I cannot wait. Super excited. I'm also in town for a wedding. Currently waiting to board a flight to Salt Lake City, and then we're headed to San Diego right after that. And I'm really excited about both of these shows for a lot of reasons, but both shows have a ton of women creatives, which is rare. Made it to Salt Lake City where my layover is. Grabbed some Panda Express, one of my favorite airport foods. And now I have 2 hours to wait before my connecting flight to San Diego. The great news is that I just hit silver medallion status like on my last flight home from the UK, and I got upgraded on both of my flights for the first time to Comfort Plus, which is very cool. The downside is that on this next leg I am an aisle seat and I prefer a window, but that's okay. You know, love the extra space. Now ideally I should land like around 11:30 and then have enough time to get to the hotel, and tomorrow I see my first show of the trip, which I'm very excited about. Note to self, the Salt Lake City airport is a great airport to have a layover in. Tons of food options, tons of like really cute seating areas with plenty of chargers. If I need to do a layover on the West Coast, this is much better than say Phoenix or Vegas. This is a gorgeous airport. Just landed in San Diego, another gorgeous little tiny regional airport, similar to Salt Lake City actually, but I haven't been here before. Probably gonna just Uber to the hotel. Just checked prices, it's only about $20, which is gonna add up because I'm gonna be Ubering a lot on this trip, but honestly, can't beat it for it being like midnight. And I don't really want to walk around downtown San Diego by myself with all my stuff. Headed to show number 1 of this trip, which is Huzzah at the Old Globe Theater. Now there is a bus that gets you into Balboa Park, and there's a little tiny walk from where the bus stop is to the Old Globe inside Balboa Park. But that's way too easy for me. What I did is I took the green trolley down to Middleton, I think. Yeah, that sounds right. Middleton or Mapleton. It starts with an M. And it is now a 1.5 mile walk from that trolley stop to Balboa Park to the Old Globe. So a much longer walk. This area is kind of nice. It's, you know, not pretty, but it's not a sketch area. It's just, I'm literally gonna have to walk underneath the freeway here in a second. And unfortunately, and I knew this was gonna happen, I will be going up rather large hills. There's also no crosswalk where I'm supposed to go right now, so we're gonna go to the next street. Google Maps wants me to go up that hill, but there's no way to cross. There's not a lot of cars, but we're just gonna go to the next street, and then it's a straight shot all the way up, I believe. But yeah, that's a preview of what this walk is gonna look like. I may have made a poor decision, but it is about the same amount of time, according to Google Maps, of walking the distance between the trolley stop and Balboa Park versus trying to transfer to the next bus and then taking the bus up. So we're gonna go for the walk. It's such a nice day. You know, choices were made, and I'm beginning to think those were the wrong choices. What is this? You know, the first hill wasn't bad, but this one is in fact incredibly steep. Honestly, not as bad as I thought though going up. It also helps that all of the hills are broken up by block. So like right now I'm going up a little hill and then it'll plateau out at the next street. So you get a little bit of a break and then you go up another little hill, but we're making it up. It's not bad. It looks way worse than it actually is. Made it up the first 3 hills. Now we got a little bit of a rest and then a couple other uphill battles, but mostly I think the hard part is done. And honestly, you get a great view of the city. All right, made it up the second of those bigger hills. There's one more little hill, and then I think those trees are Balboa Park, or I have more to go. I honestly don't know at this point, but we'll see. All right, we made it to the top of that hill. We're not at the park yet. We probably got a good long way still, but at least it flattens out. So we're done with the hard part, I think. All right, that last street I was on was First. I just crossed Second, and Balboa Park starts on 6th. So we're almost there. We're almost at least to the park, and then we have to walk across the scary bridge, and we'll make it to the Old Globe. We made it to the park. We just have to make it across the bridge, and we will be at the theater. I will say, for somebody who's afraid of heights, walking on the north side is superior. Also, the lights just turned on, but only on half of the bridge. Now, I do currently have Monday in San Diego wide open. It may be time to check out the cannibals. If the museum is open, that may be where we head. I'm curious. Also, there's a post-secret exhibit. Okay, the Museum of Us may be where we go on Monday, if it's open on Monday. Do have the back of some sort of stage that they're setting up, I imagine for tomorrow, and then over there where you can usually walk in. Oh, actually, I think we may be able to walk through there still. We have the gala lights set up for tomorrow. This looks really cute. We can, in fact, still walk through here. So here's a preview of essentially where I imagine the red carpet's going for tomorrow. This is very cute. We have production shots of all of the shows that they've done here. I love that they have The Grinch, because I did in fact used to come and see that when I was a kid. And the Old Globe is turning 90. The Oregon Shakespeare Festival also just turned 90, so I don't know what it was about 90 years ago that everyone was like, let's make Shakespearean theaters. Here are some newer production stills, including we have the production of Hair that reopened the Old Globe post-COVID. I saw that production. It was incredible. You have, I think, Bright Star. That looks like a Bright Star. The original Heart of Rock and Roll, back when it was still set in, I think, the 2000s. Then, of course, Casey likes in Almost Famous. I was told there was a lot of incredible merch, and that was not a lie. There is a lot of incredible merch. Is this a... Oh my gosh, this is so cute. I honestly really love that t-shirt. And the hoodie is so cute too. And we do, unfortunately, well, fortunately, but unfortunately, have two varieties of pins. There's the title pin and this turkey leg pin, which is incredible. Also a pint. Honestly, 10 out of 10 on the merch here. All right, we have a rehearsal reel playing outside as well. Here's a little preview of the show.
Our first chance to hear it all.
Power couple. Little sneak preview of what I will be seeing. Oh my gosh, I got a card also. This curtain is gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. Okay, this is adorable. Huge thank you to the team here at the Old Globe. Unfortunately, I did jump on the pins already, but yeah, love, 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 love. I just realized the front of the card is Regency Girls, which I saw here last and absolutely adored. I hope we have not seen the last of the show. Loved, loved, loved Regency Girls. All right, here is a glimpse at the song list. This what did come as an insert in the program because the show is, of course, still in previews. I heard that they have about 9 more previews before it officially opens. And look, I have a whole song. The Song of Kate. Act 2 opener. It may actually beat the Bad Romance for the best Act 2 opener ever. Currently intermission. Loving it so far. Loving it so far. I cannot wait to see what happens in Act 2. Really love the songs and how they advance the plot. A lot of those medley numbers that Larry O'Keefe and Neil Benjamin are exceptional at. Yeah, this is hilarious so far. Also obsessed with the little derpy unicorn on the show curtain. just got out of Huzzah, currently waiting for the Uber, which I just had one cancel on me, so hopefully I get one. But oh my gosh, what a fun show. What an absolutely fun show. Now, a bit of an unorthodox show, because we did have an extended intermission today, and then when they came back, they had clearly done some readjusting to Act 2. The songs didn't match the songs that we saw in the program. They did not do The Legend of Kate. I think what ended up happening is it did sound like some of the performers were a little bit tired and under the weather. And I think that because they did not have the understudies ready, that we ended up having an adjusted show, so a bit of a unique experience. And that's kind of the preview period, right? Because during the preview period, you don't necessarily have everybody ready to go on. And so they made necessary adjustments to make sure that everybody could go through. And that's the show that we got. So I really kind of want to come back and see the show after they've made all the adjustments that they're in the process of making. You could tell that they've been doing rewrites, but the stuff that's there is incredibly promising. I think overall right now, my biggest issue is the overall character arcs feel a little disjointed, and that could be because we probably got an adjusted show today. That's my biggest thing, is I want a little bit of tighter overall arcs for especially the sisters. Once they smooth out the plot that they want to tell, the main crisis, I think, is strong right now. The character arcs in Act 1 specifically need a little work, and then Act 2, again, we had an edited version, so I'm not going to be too hard on it, but it did feel a little disjointed at times, and so I'm curious where the show ends up, because there's a lot of promise there, but right now it is very much still in the middle of being worked on. So a lot of fun. I always love seeing shows in the preview period. Usually I like to go see them again to see where a show ends up, and I do firmly believe I'm going to be able to see this show again, just not in this run. But I do not think we've seen the last of it, especially with this level of the creative team attached to it. I really love a lot of the songs that Nell Benjamin and Larry O'Keefe have written for this show. They do a lot of what they did best in Legally Blonde, which is have these songs that forward the plot, both in the writing and in the direction by Annie Tipp, who I think has done some brilliant direction here in terms of the even just the smallest character arcs, like the way that some of the ensemble characters developed, and so that was just really exciting to see. I think there's a lot of potential here for a really great and fun show. What was also interesting about this show is that we had two of the offstage swings end up coming on for the second act, and so I'm curious about what prompted that. It's exciting for me in the audience, and honestly, I think anybody who is not a theater nerd who sees, over 300 shows in a year, I think anybody else wouldn't have noticed, other than the fact that they announced that there was going to be two swings joining. I don't think that they would have noticed the adjustments that were being made, but yeah, I was nerding out in the audience. It was very exciting. I freaking love theater. I love previews, and I love getting to watch a show develop. So cannot wait to see what happens with this show. And my Uber is coming down the street right now. So there you go. Tomorrow I'm going to an escape room, which I'm very excited about, with some friends, and then it's time for another world premiere musical, going to Jolla Playhouse to see The Heart. So I will see you there. Here's the Dusty the Dragon at the axe throwing place.
It's on the ring.
Yeah, okay.
The ring of keys.
Oh my god.
This is what happens when you go axe throwing with theater people. Yes! Just finished doing both an escape room and axe throwing here at the Vault. We did I forget which escape room that we did, but it was like heist themed around this painting. Super fun. And then they gave us a discount off of axe throwing for 30 minutes. So we did that for a little over 30 minutes. And I'm really bad at axe throwing, y'all, like really bad. My arm is so sore, and I hit one into the wall that didn't even make it near the target. So not my future hobby, but super fun. I'm glad I tried it. And now my friends have left and I am waiting for the Uber to take me to La Jolla Playhouse, which is about a 20-minute drive away. And I'm gonna go see The Heart, which super excited about. We made it to the one, the only La Jolla Playhouse. Now I realized today that I don't think I'm in the main theater. I think I'm in the other one. I also think I'm 2 hours early. I don't think the show starts until 8 and it is currently 6. Working Girl is going in the main theater, which is the Madeline Weiss Theater. I am going to the Potiker Theater, which I've never been in. And honestly, I don't know where that is. Wait, is that even over here? We may be lost. All right, we do have a sign that says call will be available at the Potiker Theater, which I guess is this. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's a sign, Potiker Theater, right this way. And I do in fact have to go to the box office because my tickets are at will call. I think this is it. Yeah, this is the Potiker Theater, which I've never been in before. I think this is where Redwood was. Don't quote me on that, we'll find out. All right, I did get to pick up my ticket. Confirmed it does start at 8, so I have 2 hours. Now here's a look at the entire La Jolla Playhouse season. As you can see, they had Jaja's African hair braiding, which last time I was here, they were getting ready to set up for that when I came here to see 3 Summers of Lincoln, which was the last show of their last season. After The Heart, which is currently what's playing, they have Working Girl coming in. All the Men Who've Frightened Me is a world premiere play that is actually playing right now. And they do in fact have like a special where if you do both shows in the same day, you get like a pin. So that's a lot of fun. I wish I could have done that, but because I went to the escape room earlier today, I did not have a matinee slot open. So unfortunately, you really right now can only do that on Saturdays. And then we have The Recipe, which is coming in to the Potiker Theater after The Heart, starting in February. So that is next year. And that looks like it's a play. Yeah, world premiere play. So they pretty much have all world premieres this year and Jaja's, which is on its regional tour. So I started getting cold waiting out outside the theater. So I walked behind the building and there's this really cute seating area with a viewpoint and the view is stunning. There is a lot of vegetation in the way, but you can definitely see some of the more prominent buildings in the distance. I believe that's a Mormon church there. Wow. I don't think on a clear day you could see all the way to the ocean from here because it does look like there's some hills though in the distance. I don't know if you can see that, but there, if you can kind of see the outline of some mountains. It looked like art over here, but it does have some of the stuff labeled. So those are in fact mountains in the distance. This is kind of like a sketch map, which is a cool way to do it. But yeah, no ocean. You can see, oh, I didn't realize Tijuana was that direction. Tijuana, somewhere over there. Also, I'm so used to you having to pay to use the viewfinders, but this one is free. Look at that. How cool. Now there is a little restaurant next to the theater called James's Place, but did look at the menu and the edamame alone is $10. So we will not be eating there. $35 burger. There you go. A little bit out of my price range. Granted, I did get donated this ticket, so, oh, you know what? Maybe I go get dessert. $14 for dessert is not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Chose to just grab a snack at the concession stand. So for $8, we have the dinner of champions, a chocolate chip cookie, and a Coke. Of course, we must pay homage to the regional theater, Tony. Now they're also doing Burnout Paradise, which is not part of their season. So I'm guessing it's like a festival add-on. The photo op, how cute. And we are seated in this cute little theater. I'm pretty sure this is where I saw the garden. It looks familiar. Already a very electronic set, which matches with the vibe of the music. This is a fully electronic score. Literally, look how stacked this cast is. But also the creative team, including Servina Bush costumes. Loved her costumes in For Colored Girls. Well, loved that. That was so good. My elevator pitch for the Heart is essentially, imagine if they made a musical of the TV show The Pit, but in the style of Come From Away, set to all electronic music. I'm trying to think if there's a single musical that it sounds like in the same vibe of in terms of the score, because it is like very electronic style. Any electronic music, so like Above and Beyond or Zed or Marshmallow, like very much 2010s electropop, if that makes sense. And it worked so well because it has like that pulsating sensation of a heartbeat, and it gets your heart racing. The entire musical follows from when the initial trauma takes place that makes the first patient an organ donor, all the way to when they transplant the heart. And because time is so important, having that pulsating beat in the score is incredible. Like it really helps to bring the entire show to life. Then of course you have this incredible cast that I have not been able to shut up about since they announced the cast, like Paul Alexander Nolan and Zach Noah Pizer, Heidi Blickenstaff, Kenita Miller, Ren Rivera is in this, which I forgot that they were in this until they showed up on stage, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Ren, right? Like incredibly stacked cast, and each of them plays multiple characters throughout. Similar to Come From Away, they're playing with accents, different character work, so you really get to see them all shine. I really loved the scenic design, which had very simple, like the lighting rings on the top, a lot of video projections on the back wall, but the side walls were made of mirrors, and there were doors in them so they could open up the door and exit, but like the surface of the door essentially was also a mirrored surface. So whenever they closed the door, it was just mirrors on either side, which would reflect the lighting and the action happening on stage. The feel of it didn't feel clerical like a hospital. It felt pulsating and electronic and almost rave-like, which I thought was a lot better choice than making it feel hospital-like, right? Because hospitals are very stark, but they don't feel like that when you're in the middle of, you know, transplanting a heart. So I thought that was a great choice. There was also video game elements that connected to one of the characters that was part of this story, and it was some of the best incorporation of video game lingo and video game terminology into a larger narrative, even though it was just such a subtle part of the show. And after going to Fringe and seeing so many shows try to incorporate video games into their narrative, it was wild to see a musical about a heart transplant do it the most successfully. And I loved the choreography by Mandy Moore. It really felt like her choreography, but it really lent itself to the piece overall. Very subtle choreography for this, but the way that it was incorporated I thought was really well done and added to the emotion of the piece. And I loved the blocking and the direction by Christopher Ashley. I mean, you had a lot of the characters sitting off to the side for select scenes, and the way that they interacted or didn't interact with the people on stage was incredibly well done. There was a really great moment where one of the nurses is interacting with or singing to the patient who we don't see on the table. The actor playing that patient is sitting to the side, but the patient himself is brain dead at that time, and this nurse is still talking to him and singing to him like he's there, even though we know that he does not hear her. She's still humanizing him. And near the end of the song, she looks up from this empty table that she's been singing to and sings directly to the actor. And it was one of those subtle moments that made me incredibly emotional. Anyway, absolutely loved this show, and I think I may be lost. I need to look at a map. I did in fact go a street too far, so doubling back, I'm currently on the UCSD campus where Jolla Playhouse is. We have a concert venue next to me. You can kind of hear music from that right now. It's sort of what the Heart score sounds like, but looks like they're doing some sort of gala right now next to me, maybe for incoming freshmen, not sure. This is definitely closer to the score of the Heart than anything currently on Broadway, I'll at least say that. And we found the entrance to the train. There it is. The trolley, my bad. That is what they call their line here. Here's a view of the event happening, and our trolley is on the other side. Just kidding. Wait, am I on the wrong side? Thankfully, that is not my trolley. My trolley is coming to the side. Thank goodness. Hello, it is Monday. Yesterday, had the wedding, had a blast at that, and now I have basically a free day in San Diego. So I'm currently back in Balboa Park. We are going to check out some museums. Now, they do have an Explorer Pass that you can get for the day. That's about $63, and it gets you into up to 4 museums. And all of the museums are around like the $20 price range. However, most of them close at 5, and it is currently noon. And I don't think I can do 4 museums in the span of 5 hours. So I think I'm just gonna pick 1, maybe 2 to go to and do that instead. And you already know which one we're gonna pick for our 1, because we have to see the cannibals. Now that exhibit is part of the Museum of Us, which also, of course, has the post-secret exhibit happening right now. So that is the obvious choice. We're gonna head in. Here are the admission prices. It does include the cannibals exhibit, also a 1-year membership. Wait, can I come anytime I want for the next year? We'll find out. All right, we made it inside the Museum of Us. They do, in fact, give you a year membership, so I can come anytime I want for the next year until end of September, which is like really cool. And here we go. You know, I never thought about the fact that like beer is one of the most common drinks in our history. That's actually crazy to think about. Anyway, here's a whole exhibit on beer. The Vikings made cider instead of beer. My people. The amount of detail put into these ancient growlers is incredible. These are like ancient popcorn buckets. Collect them all. Stunning. Ironically, Huzzah, which is playing literally right next to this museum, has an entire song about how the water was so polluted. So here's the dramaturgy literally right next door. First of all, this is incredible. Second of all, this Mayan exhibit is fantastic, and also a great reminder that when the written word is restricted, theater and stories become a fantastic way to get the word out. A good reminder for right now. Finished the first floor of the Museum of Us. Really great exhibits. And now I'm heading over to the cannibal exhibit just so I make sure I hit this one up, and then we'll go to the second floor of the museum. Made it into the cannibal exhibit. A lot of great entries on here, including Walking Dead, and of course, important, Sweeney Todd. Oh, and nearly missed it because I was so focused by the Sea of Monsters book. But we also have Cannibal the Musical in here. Deep cut. Here at the apothecary where you can get your prescription. So here we go. I have filled this out. Definitely always tired. We have a couple options I could have gone with, but you know, I spilled my drink like 2 times before I'd even drunk it yesterday, so we're gonna go with clumsy. In terms of do I get, I got like 3 nosebleeds the first day I was here, so definitely that. And I mean, at work I definitely sit still a lot when I'm editing or coding, so we'll do that. That gets us to 18, which requires a prescription of human fat. And you can in fact get your prescription in here. There it is. I mean, obviously we have to go with 1. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, you can go faster. Obviously we have to keep going. That's the spirit. Run. We have to go before winter. Oh no. Not me choosing a shortcut that was actually longer. Well, oh well, what's the worst that could happen? It has started snowing. This is not looking good. It's only getting worse. Now I'm stuck in a blizzard. Obviously we're gonna build shelter. Oh no. Great. Wait, do I want to sacrifice the children to save myself or send the children on? I think I'm gonna send the children on. Oh my gosh. We survived. Oh, and now we have the heart dramaturgy with a human organ transplant container. Talking about where we draw the line in terms of consuming bodies. And it spits you out right outside the store with the entrance over there. So we made it through the cannibal exhibit. Really enjoyed that. I wish they incorporated more of the pop culture aspect to it. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. And now I guess we'll head back to the Museum of Us, but maybe I'm gonna go to the main area and grab something to eat because I can go into the museum until 5 p.m. today. Now there is a Balboa Park gift shop that has San Diego and Balboa Park generic pins and stickers, so probably gonna grab a pin here as well as one from the Museum of Us. Did just head to the Fleet Science Center. They have a cafe there, but it is currently closed. So walking back down the main path. Now I did check the prices at the Science Center and it is $25. So if you got the day pass and did the Fleet Science Center and what I imagine like the Natural History Museum is probably also a little more expensive. So you could get to start saving money at 3 museums as opposed to 4. So, you know, if you did have all day in Balboa Park, that Explorer Pass saves you a ton of money very fast. But if you're like me and you only want to do 1, maybe 2 museums, then it's a little cheaper just to get them a la carte. I think I made the right choice today, especially considering I haven't even finished the Museum of Us yet. And I only have 3 more hours to do that. So I think 1 museum was the right choice. Passing the Museum of Art, and I feel like that's got to be a cafe over there, right? It is in fact a full restaurant, so we are grabbing some food here. Ended up getting the pulled pork sandwich, and honestly, really good portion size for literally a museum cafe. Took a nice little break here at this cafe. I think I'm gonna head back to the Museum of Us and finish off the exhibits on the 2nd floor. Really enjoyed the Museum of Us, and I'm glad that I chose to only go to that museum today because I was really able to sit with all the text as opposed to like rushing through it. And I loved reading all the Post secrets. It made me feel like it was the early 2000s again. Also, I've been inspired by the Post secret exhibit, and I think what I want to do is grab a postcard from here and write just a little thing to myself for each city that I go to, something that's not for social media. So I'm gonna go back to the gift shop and grab a postcard. Well, unfortunately, the Balboa Park gift shop closes at 4:30, so I cannot get a postcard here, but we'll get one in San Diego. Worst case, I can get one at the airport tomorrow. Calling it a successful day at Balboa Park, so now I'm going to head back to the hotel. However, since I've already spent too much money today, I'm going to try to take public transport back to the hotel. Taking the bus this time as opposed to walking the 1.5 miles down the hill. directly to the trolley stop. So we'll just take the bus. It'll take a little longer, but honestly, it's such a nice day, why not? Just right past the fountain and underneath this pedestrian bridge, there is the stop right there. Look at that. So we just have to wait here for the bus. And I believe it's like the trolley, tap to pay. Now, unfortunately, I did take a little too long getting over here, and I just missed the bus by like about 2 minutes. So do you have to wait 11 minutes for the next one, which isn't bad. And I literally have nothing else planned today. So it's kind of the perks of playing everything by ear, is I can take my time, enjoy the city, enjoy the weather. And there goes the bus, dropped me off right here, and this is in fact where we need to take the blue line. So super easy trolley transfer. And it is a free transfer, you just have to remember to tap outside of the trolley. Back at the Hampton Inn where I'm staying to get ready to pack. One of the nicest, most comfortable hotels I've ever stayed at. This is a completely renovated Hampton Inn, and they really put in the work. And since we just had the room serviced, I will give you a quick tour. So this is a double, some of the most comfortable beds come with a microwave and a mini fridge, and there are complimentary bottles of water in there, plus a TV. We also have a couch and a sink outside of the bathroom, but also one inside the bathroom. No bathtub, but there is a shower, and the water pressure is fantastic. And plenty of outlets for both beds. But really, I just love how comfortable these pillows are. 10 out of 10 would stay here again. And complimentary breakfast with waffles. So I really enjoy this hotel. I do wish it were a little bit closer to the trolley stop. The walk to the trolley stop is a little sketch, but that's really my biggest complaint. Other than that, the actual stay is great. And if you're traveling with a car, there's a parking lot. It would be a lot more convenient if you had a car or a rental car. But if you are taking public transportation, there are better locations for sure. And that is the end of my San Diego trip. Thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Kate, and I love talking about theater because theater is life. Be sure to subscribe as I travel around the country and the world, seeing as much theater as possible and sharing it with all of you. And I'll see you in the next one when I go back to New York to see Hamilton for the first time on Broadway. Yes, it's time.